Hey everyone, welcome to POPXP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the POPXP channel. Hey, what's going on YouTube? The Popped or Not crew is back with WandaVision number 5. Kate Sensation in the house. The doctor, not a doctor, Mr. Blevins, and the magic man of film and television, Mr. Adam Lawson. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
We are happy. We are happy.
We are happy.
We are happy tonight. We had some amazing pasta for lunch. We're ready to rock.
Yes, nice. Yes. Got those carbs in. We're getting that energy. Maybe a little 2-mile biking or something, giving tours.
That's right. That's right. I've been biking from the production office here, for the writer's room. And, I now had a good comment. He says, Adam, if I could keep this up, I could do it on the weekends, run tours, just take them. Because I live right in the studio area in Burbank. So it's like Warner Brothers, Disney, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network are a mile from my place. And so it's like, could be my new career.
Good for you.
With that clip-on microphone with the helmet. You're like, all right, guys, let's go.
That's right.
To your left.
All right, guys.
Major producer Blevins' house.
And then you leave them. Oh, so you start tours, but you're just on your way to work. So you follow you on your bike. Like, okay, guys, well, I'll see you guys later. Like, what?
Everyone here.
And you just leave them stranded in Burbank.
Well, hey,
like everybody meets at your house.
That's right.
That's great.
You have like a bunch of extra bikes for no reason, just for people to borrow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Speaking of being stranded,
bicycles.
What? Speaking of being stranded, what about episode 5 of WandaVision?
Yes,
unbelievable.
I mean, it was okay.
Mind blown.
It was okay, I guess.
You know what though? I want to start. I love starting off with Adam because he gets the energy going. He hypes it up. Right. And then I'm just going to, I don't know if my view on this episode is going to be the same as you guys. So, Mr. Lawson, let's start flossing.
Oh,
yes,
you just went there. That just happened, everybody. Start flossing.
So, episode 5, this is, I think what I felt was where we were going with this trajectory about episode 2 when you realize that, it's that really Wanda is orchestrating this fantasy world that they're in. And I love where it's going to from the standpoint of Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, right? That experience going on between Wanda and Vision, how he's now starting to discover. This was, to me, like what made episode 5 so magical was that that Vision truly has multiple moments where he confronts Wanda about this fantasy that they're in. And those scenes, the one where he's flying up in the air and they're fighting, also to the ones around the kitchen where he can sense it, because he brings such gravity. Like that was the magic of this episode. And I think if you just close your eyes every time it would cut to Sword and then reopen them when it cut back to Wanda, you would think this is a perfect episode of TV. And why I say that is I feel like every time we cut to Sword, it's just so underwhelming. The quality of the performances, like the stakes for them, the bad campy jokes. They feel like they're two TV shows that actually aren't friends. But what's happening in the fantasy world is so gripping, and the realization that she's essentially, like we thought, she's building this universe so she could maintain this world with Vision, and the people of Westview are paying the price for it, right? It's this great psychosis, and anyway, so that cast and what's happening on that front is really a TV show.
Mm-hmm. Blevins thoughts,
man. Well, dude, I mean, what can you not say about this episode? I mean, like they started off like I don't know, like I was like, all right, the babies, where are they going to go from there? Then boom, you find out she doesn't have any power over the babies, which I think kind of set the pace of how they interact, like where they stand in this television deal, because they weren't there from the beginning. They just showed up out of nowhere. There are no kids in Westview, there are no children in Westview. So
Yep.
The fact that she created them, I thought was just crazy. Adam, you're definitely right. The difference is literally day and night when you go inside Westview and outside of Westview, on everything, on story and on the breakdown of the acting skills, the acting chops of the people, the believability. Yep. It's so crazy that the believability is more believable inside the city, inside the made up world, than it is in the real world.
Yeah, totally.
Like there were just some wow moments, of course. The biggest wow, the moment that I got chills for the first time in this episode was when her eyes light, like when they send the drone in and her eyes light up red and then the camera goes away, and then there's something happening on the barrier and you see the image and you're like, oh my God, is she coming through? And then she just comes walking out. She's like, hey, what's up, dude? What are you trying to do? And she's wearing her same outfit that she wore in the video from the video from earlier on in the episode. It's like that's her real clothes, which is kind of weird because when Monica Rambeau got kicked out, she was in the made up clothes. So why was Wanda not in her made up attire or whatever? But there was one thing that was a little confusing when she said she knew she had when Monica Rambeau said she had an engineer that she wanted to contact and she got on her little deal. There's no telling who it was, and it didn't pay off. It was kind of like a throwaway line for this episode, which I thought was kind of weird. I'm hoping it's Amadeus Cho, that's what my fingers crossed, but I don't know. And then of course, I mean, the ending of the episode, where she's like, I didn't do that. I didn't ring the doorbell. What are you talking about? I didn't do that. And, you don't believe me. She's controlling everything else. And now you can, slowly start to see her grip go away. When the credits started rolling and he came out and he was as Vision and not not Paul Bettany, the human, and then they go answer the door and it's, Evan Peters from the Fox QuickSilver, universe, and not Aaron Taylor, whatever his name is from the one that she, her actual brother,
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, and Aaron Taylor.
That was a really cool choice. That was a very cool choice.
Oh, it's the merging. I think now the introduction.
Mm-hmm. It unlocks everything, especially all the leaks and stuff that we've been getting from Spider-Man Homeworlds and all the stuff from the Doctor Strange in the multiverse. Yep. All the leaks that have been coming out, this kind of pays that off. And also, I don't know if you know this, but they announced that there's going to be a 9th episode, which is blowing my mind. They did a 9th episode, and because when we first started this review, I said that I felt kind of ripped off because they gave us those 2 episodes, and I said they should have combined them into one and gave us 8 episodes. So essentially, that's being paid off now, and they're giving us a 9th episode, which I'm pretty sure is what's just going to kick us into Marvel Phase 4. But man, this episode was incredible. I loved it. I'm still on the fence now about everything that's happening outside of Westview. But yeah, man, I'm a fan of WandaVision. That's all there is to it.
Mr. Tucci, your take on this episode?
Yes. First of all, I found it. I really enjoyed it. I like the idea that they're in the Full House. Almost the house is the exact setup as the Full House house, and that Elizabeth Olsen's sisters were in Full House, and that whole 80s vibe, late 80s vibe. And I really enjoyed it. That said, what a terrifying world Wanda has created for all those poor innocent people that are being imprisoned and enslaved in this. Like when Vision's coworker snaps out of it, when he's able to snap him out and he's pleading with his life, please, you have to help us. You have to save us. Just imagine that. And I hope they really explore that even more. I like, again, I was a little on the fence, Brian. Like you said, that she is obviously losing her grip on her reality that she's created a bit. With the Fox QuickSilver, he never died, right?
No.
So could it be quite possibly that her brother Pietro, right?
Mhm.
That he isn't something he isn't a figment of her imagination or of her creation, but actually he is still alive, and he's the reason is that he can break through because he is so fast without her knowing. I think she's completely aware when something breaks through, when someone comes through, she's aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So could he be, the real Pietro? And again, that he's not part of the same Avengers universe of the one who died. I don't know that again. That when you love comics and you know the storyline or pretty much what they're trying to get at, or you have an idea, you start throwing in all these scenarios of what you would want to happen and what you would do. And but I thought it was really terrific. Again, I felt same as Adam did about the crossing of the universes. I really like that the choice of the actor. I forget his name who plays, who was in the X-Men films and stuff. I really enjoyed it. Really looking forward to Friday, to be honest with you. Can't wait.
Yeah, me as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
Definitely.
this definitely is
very excited.
A series that has really grown on me a lot. I'm at that point that I stated before, like with Mandalorian, I'm looking forward to it. These movies are kind of coming like I hate to say it, and I guess yell at me in the comments below, people, but it's almost like Friday's like another like new comic book day. It's like the way they're adapting all these things to just these visual masterpieces. You look forward to it. And I have to say, with this episode, we started off slow, right? And then we picked up momentum. Then we just had that, then we had episode 4, we had episode 4, which kind of just like opened the world up. And then we're now at episode 5, which to me, I loved everything that happened. But then all of a sudden I felt like someone just like started hitting fast. Now I'm like moving too fast. Like now the arc is crumbling, right? The key's falling out of that arch. It's starting to crumble. It wants to come down and get everything exposed. It was like every 2 seconds, it was like another reason of like, this is what Wanda's doing, and, breaking, then Vision's catching on, and the email comes through and he's reading it, and, basically everyone pleading for Wanda to stop. And then, right in the beginning, hey, do you want me to redo that? You want me to hold the babies, right? So it's like, cut and scene director, you want me to do that, right? This actor's being a little silly here, but the brilliance of those moments are these actors. Because how they transition from being in their character to acting out of character to then acting back into acting.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible and eerie. That scene right in the beginning when the babies are crying and the neighbor comes over and she wants, that whole thing like gave me goosebumps, because I'm like, that was just incredible acting and how they pulled that together. But I have to say, it was a great episode. I think we had the merging, right, of the Fox universe with this universe by getting, really the more popular actors who played these characters into the better universe. And I think when I thought originally when that happened, when she said I have a special engineer I can bring in, I thought that was it. But then they also made a comment of, we need to bring something in that doesn't need change. Her brother's perfection. That's her twin brother. That's like a reflection of her. He can get through that zone without detection because she doesn't need to change him. She had to change everyone else. And then she had to change herself back to come out to be like, this is my house. I'm not going to come out in these overalls and a shirt. I'm going to come out like I'm going to destroy you all. And the way that the transitions, I feel, are amazing. Just how they're going from like an 80s scene to just straight up, 21st century cinematics, and going back and forth in the storyline. My only hiccup with this is I felt like I was being rushed now. Like now they're trying to rush me to a point is what I was feeling, I don't know. Did you guys catch any of that when you were watching it? Like, hey, it's just, it's very frequent now that Vision's like chipping at the ice and now seeing what's frozen in the center.
Here's the thing. I agree with you now that there's a feeling of that speed. And I honestly think the secret sauce would have been to not include Sword in the story and make it be that we discover Sword only through Elizabeth Olsen's eyes, right? That we don't have a plot line in that world, because as an audience member, we know where it's going to now so clearly. Like, we've revealed the killer at the beginning of a slasher movie, or at the middle of a serial killer movie. Right away, you know who the killer is. Whereas if they would have left them out longer, I think you wouldn't have felt that kind of rush, because we now know so much, right? And one of the things, that about that I think also too comes to it is the discoveries that come from the Sword side are, they're kind of like juvenile, right? Like, she takes the guy's gun and she shoots the clothes, and somehow it doesn't mark the metal or anything, or impact it, because somehow it was once a Keller vest and now that's bulletproof, and we need to bring stuff in. What a forced scene, and how juvenile of a discovery. It's like, guys, everything you sent in changed its clothing, right? So wouldn't it just be as obvious as the sunrise? You have to then be of that era to get in.
Right.
And so that's what I kind of wonder now, is that I feel like that camp, takes our pacing away, right? Because that nice moment with the baby crying, and she's like, "Oh, do you want me to do it again?" Right? Probably my favorite moment in the episode, right?
Yes.
And he's like, "Didn't you see that?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, you had to have seen that, right? That kind of pace to it, I agree with you, Nile, is what makes the show special, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then cut to a bunch of mumbo jumbo cops, and they come, Sword people, and they come with their M4s, like somehow that's gonna stop a woman as strong as Thanos. It's just like, this is like so silly, guys. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, here we are with your guns because you're gonna get her. Yeah. It's like, and cut to we're gonna get them. Yeah. Oh, take the shot with our drone. It's just like, and bad plot line.
And then everyone turns their lasers on him. It's like, it's gonna happen when
it's like, it's gonna happen. It's like, and like, dude, you're so dumb. It's like, you already know who she is. Like, that's what's so weird from the Sword side, is they know how powerful and capable Scarlet Witch is. Mm-hmm. And they're coming at her with like, it's like me jumping in against Mike Tyson. It's like, that's going to be a losing fight.
Yeah, especially someone in his position, he knows. He should be aware of everything that's going on. He should have more information than anyone.
Yeah,
and it's completely out of character of the character that in the position he would be in.
Totally, they're going to know all these details.
Idiot, imbecile.
Did anyone else find it interesting though that this whole thing that's going on right now is in that world? We're just looking at a 9-day event.
Yeah,
that's it. Because she had basically, stole Vision's body parts and created this world, 9 days ago.
Do you guys?
It's incredible.
Do you guys think that there is a chance that she could bring Vision back to life at the end?
She did. Yeah. Well, that's what we don't know. Is he actually alive right now? Because according to Sword, she resurrected him against his will. But their question is, well, how did she get the stone?
Right.
But if she is as powerful as Thanos, maybe she can just make another stone. Who knows what's going to be unveiled? But can he? And my thought, actually, now that you mentioned that, Billy, my thought has always been like, can he survive outside of it?
I think that's the real question, right? Because to me, that's where this story, it would be exciting to lead, is that the tough moral decision is you've got these 3,000 people of this town trapped. Yeah. But if they all go away, so does Vision, right?
Yeah.
So now there's a real consequence for letting them go. Instead of just saying to her, come on, let these people go. You can hang out in this, let these people go. But if they go and if Westview vanishes, so does Vision, right? Because that would be the only way to motivate her to take advantage of these people, right? Is that she needs Westview for him to stay alive.
Yeah,
at least I would think.
I think with all her creating all the days and everything, like when this was initially 8 days, like I was thinking that maybe they might do something like from a god tier, deal, like have all that, like the next episode is supposed to be like the big one, and then like on the 7th she rested, on the 7th.
Oh right, yeah.
She rested, and then they finish out the series with number 8. I don't really know where it's going from here. I mean, I definitely would love to see, I definitely want to see some other Avengers show up. You would think that would be something that was coming, but also, I know they have Sword out there, but why is Shield not there too? Why is Shield not there for backup? I don't know, but
I do love the Quicksilver element.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I feel like when you say other Avengers showing up, I feel like it's kind of like think about back with Justice League, right? It's like, oh, we're in a pinch.
Yeah,
Superman shows up, right?
Her partners, basically, her teammates.
Right. But I appreciate that it's Quicksilver that showed up, because if it's Thor, if it's Captain, or it's any of these kind of folks, it escalates it so big. I think we lose part of our charm. Whereas the Quicksilver, that's also this brother tie-in, makes it something intimate and much more personal, right? Yeah. Especially because Wanda is the least emotionally connected to the rest of the Avengers. It's not like, she was recruited in late to the game, right? It kind of fell into them by virtue of circumstance, not by virtue of values. And so I wonder if that's not, I don't know if that's very emotionally strong for Wanda, but the brother is, that's everything for her.
Right.
And so I wonder if that's why that choice, because then we can keep the story about these sort of intimate, more emotional struggles, with Vision recognizing these problems in the world. At least I think that's where the series is strongest.
Well, again, I said this one time before during the last one. I think something that has not been completely touched on, or at least fleshed out, is you have to keep in mind that she just got done beating Thanos. They just got done doing all this stuff. It just happened. Not weeks before. And they were gone for what, the blip was for 3 years or something like that. Something along those lines. Mm-hmm. So when she came back on at Wakanda. She came back at Wakanda. Everybody else is there come on, we got to go battle Thanos. We got to keep up the battle, not realizing they're fighting the Thanos from the past in another time period, not understanding any of that. They just went in there, they did their job. She didn't see Vision anywhere. Somehow she found out that he was at Sword,
Yep.
And again, all that time had passed, but it looks like they were still just working on him. It wasn't like he was stored anywhere, he was taken in an actual room, they were still dissecting him, they were still looking into him,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't understand that. So that's why I'm hoping there's going to be an episode again, like I said, on the 7th they rested, I'm hoping that might be the episode, after whatever the big deal that happens next week or this week. I'm hoping the next week is the story of her popping back in, her fighting, her coming back from the snap, her fighting Thanos, her wondering where, Vision, her creating the gym, if that's what happened. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would love to see all of that stuff, because I think that will open a big part of the plot for us as well, and kind of progress things along. So
now only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Yeah.
Only time will tell. I'm really encouraged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. So that's what I think is interesting, Billy, is that, I think from episode 1 and 2, back when we watched those, your feelings about the show went from this thing is kind of a dud to where we are now. I think for all of us in this room, that everybody started with either or, and now we're ready to go.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the thing I want to give it the most amount of credit for, that the creative team, regardless of Sword's silliness and some of that, but really they've made a show that has grown that much in just 5 episodes, that has taken us over and has got us hooked in this crazy way. I mean, my wife is hooked on it, even though she's not a Marvel Universe fan per se. I mean, she likes Marvel movies, but she's not following it. She's found herself just totally hooked on it. And I think that there's a lot to be said about that it gets under the skin in a real way.
Yeah, and real quick, just to touch base on what you were saying, it's great that they didn't bring like Thor and Cap or anyone like that because Wanda doesn't have those connections with them. And I think it's great that they've really focused on Wanda, Vision, because really, if you look at the Marvel Universe, it's Wanda and Vision. Like their relationships with the rest of the team are just kind of like, we're here to work with you. There's no warm and fuzzy with anyone else. They're like their own little partnership, their own little entity. And, they're bringing in her brother. It's not Captain America to come in to be like, you got to break through. We're a team. It's like, her brother's here who's probably going to play a character and try to get her to snap out of this or to dive in deep and see what's going on.
Yeah, good call.
And, just the way they do it. Cause I'm really interested to see what other characters will be brought in. Cause, if you look back at the cinematic universe, again, there's not a lot of warm and fuzzy with that. Wanda, Vision, they would come in, right? They did their stuff, but they were never huge major players in the film, right? They were, you had, let's say, like the core five. Then outside of the core five, you had like, the second runners up that were there waiting. And that's kind of where Wanda and Vision fell. So to just even have this show focused on them and just to have us so much, fanboying over this show now, right, for almost like the second string characters in that team is great. I mean, they've really developed these characters. I'm so excited to finish the series, and then to also, how is this going to tie in when they premiere, Falcon and Winter Soldier? And that's a conversation for another time. But I mean, they have me thinking. That's how into this I am. It's craziness.
Great.
And it's a popped, fellas. This whole series so far is a popped.
It's a pop.
But is it a full popped, Adam? Is this a full popped bag of popcorn extra?
This
butter?
is a full pack. Orville Redenbacher delivered on this one. It's even buttery this time. There's not like a big pile of kernels at the bottom. It's fully delivered.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, see, when I watched episode 3 and 4, I kind of got that idea in my head. I was trying to figure out, like, is this episode really that good, or is it just it's that much better than these other 2 episodes that I really didn't like? It's the whole Pirates of the Caribbean thing. Like Pirates of the Caribbean, The Black Pearl, I thought was a perfect movie. I thought it was amazing. I loved it. Then they had the sequel. And I was like, okay, well, the sequel is half the story. So, it was decent, but, we won't really know how good it is until the rest of the story comes out. And then they did, on, whatever the third one was, and it was horrible, which made the second one, bad, but it was so much better compared to that. Kind of like how the Last Jedi made Force Awakens like a brilliant masterpiece, and so in my mind, I just couldn't know if I was, just subliminally or subconsciously thinking that this was so good because those first 2 episodes were so bad and lulled and drawn out. But no, man, 1,000% popped, and this is gonna be great. And man, I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but man, I can't wait for that too. Like Lethal Weapon with Winter Soldier and the Falcon. Like
that looks good, man. I'm really excited.
It's got so much potential. I am ready for that.
Well, Scala, what about you? We're coming on our 30 minutes. So what about you? Pop or not?
I popped it, bro. I was the first one to pop it.
Where were you at? Did you not hear it?
Snap.
4 pops.
He was drawing.
Double tap. He was drawing popcorn. That's how much this popped. Ooey gooey, buttery goodness. So, gentlemen, this was fantastic. Yeah. We're looking forward to episode 6 this Friday, and we'll have to get back on the horn and check out our thoughts on that episd.
Oh man, what do you guys do Friday? You want to go Friday?
If we can make it happen, we should review that one right after it. Watch party. Hey, you can do that. You can do that on Disney. You can send invites and you can all watch together.
We can all watch at the same time and sing Kumbaya and everything. Is awesome.
All right. Well done, Scala.
All right,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
you
Thank
guys.
you so much for tuning in. Everyone, thanks for tuning in to another exciting episode of Popped or Not Reviews WandaVision Episode 5. If you've liked what you see and you like hearing us rant and talk about the things we love, then please click that subscribe button and make sure to hit that bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some more awesome content. Everyone have a great night. We'll see you soon. We'll catch you on the next one. Gentlemen, enjoy your evenings. Hey, Thanos, if you didn't stab him away, we wouldn't be waiting. WandaVision, WandaVision. Man, I'm gonna have to order some food to my desk. WandaVision. Waiting for WandaVision. WandaVision. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.